Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Those that have been watching my live streams will remember, I think it was 3 weeks ago now, I was donated a Robert's Rambler by a viewer to give away in one of my live streams. But I did promise that I'd do a video of the restoration. Now, the giveaway is actually this Sunday, which is a little bit scary. So literally I've got 4 days to restore this radio from scratch, really. Plus I've got to go out to work as well, so it's a bit touch and go, but I thought I'd record the whole process for you. Down below it's obviously my Patreon subscriber link, so if you want to check that out and subscribe, you can do, by all means. The other thing is PayPal, so if you go to my excuse me, my main page on YouTube, you'll find a link there to my PayPal account, so you can donate whatever you want. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get on with what we've got to do. So I'm going to switch over to the main camera now. We'll have a look over this Robert's Rambler. So let me just quickly zoom in a little bit closer. There we go. Let's pop that in. So this is the Robert's Rambler. Let's just make me a little bit smaller. Just make me a little bit smaller down in the corner. Sounds like my voice is going, doesn't it? Mrs. Cruncher will like that. Okay, let's try that. That's better. Right, okay. So here's the Robert's Rambler. At the moment, I've done nothing to it, so I thought we'll have a quick overview. Have a look at it, see what needs doing, and give it a test. So it's, I think these are from the 1970s. Not sure the exact date, but I'll see if I can pop it on the video. So I'll put a link up here somewhere, just to show you what year it actually is. It's got a little bit dusty. So it's a long wave, medium wave radio. It's battery only. It takes a PP9 in underneath here. We'll have a look inside that in a minute. So we've got volume there. The on-off button is actually on the front. Oh, it's got a sneak preview there. It's actually got a battery in it. And those of you that will watch the live stream know that this does actually work. So what needs doing then? Let's first of all, I suppose, test it out, shall we? Being that I've given the game away now and push the button, let's do it. Right, so let's go medium wave. That's medium wave. Let's try.
Original reading it was writing from the court help its clients, people who wish them company. It is complicated, but it's also important,
and that's
for thousands of people. Now this is all about something called.
That's long wave, so it does work. So things that need doing to it. We've got broken top to this knob here, so it needs a new knob there. Not really going to be able to do too much to the brights. I might try seeing if they'll come off and giving them a little bit of a spin with some wire wool, but I think probably just a clean up will sort those out. I don't want to go too overboard with it. The dial plate, we'll give that one a little polish. Again, it's not too bad. Not too bad. There's a nick in the leather cloth up here. I'm going to have a go at PVA in that back in, just to keep it there. Maybe a little bit of boot polish over the top just to hide it. The Roberts badge, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that should have a silver surround. I'm not sure. It actually looks like it doesn't have a silver surround, so I think I'm going to leave that as it is. There's not a single sign of paint on it anywhere. So either someone's taken the badge out, cleaned it right up, polished it, and put it back in, which is highly doubtful. Then I'm pretty sure that's original. The grille, as you can see, if I sort of shine it in the light, there's a bit of damage to the grille. It's quite a nasty dink in the top of it, and it's been sort of pushed in the area of the speaker. So I'm going to need to actually try and take this grille out if I can. I'll see how well it's stuck down. Some of these are really, really well stuck. You can't get them off at all. If that's the case, I'm going to have to try and get in behind it, which I think I can. But it's not as good as actually taking it off. So we shall have to see on that. So really, we've got a nick there. We need a new knob, bit of a clean up. The grille needs to be sorted. Handle looks perfect. The rear grille's spot on. Leather cloth's lovely on the back. This coarse grain stuff, I really like this finish. What else can we see on it? I can show you. In a bit more detail, I suppose, on the overhead camera. Let's have a quick look at that one. So this is where that little nick is in the leather cloth. It's difficult to see because it's not that big, but it will need fixing back, otherwise it's going to just get worse. Just say that. There's like a little tear in it. See that? And again, this knob, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's some bit of the lip on this edge has broken away. I'm going to need to replace that one. Hopefully I've got a spare somewhere. If not, I'll whip it off of one of my radios for now till I find one. So let's get back to the main camera. Either side, as I say, I've got a PP9 in it at the moment. Not much to it. It's got good quality capacitors in it. What I think I'll do, just to be on the safe side, is I'll lift the leg of each of these and just test them. If any are out of tolerance, then I will change them. And it'll just need a bit of a general clean up. So that's where we are. Okay, right. Well, next we need to get it out of the case. So let's get a screwdriver. That's the wrong one. We need a large Phillips. All my tools are all over the place at the moment. A large posi drive then. Don't know where the large Phillips is. It's here somewhere, but you know. Nice to be prepared, isn't it? Right. So we just need to loosen those two screws. Move the handle out of the way. And in theory, it should just push out, but they never do. Because these little card. Where are we? Just inside there. The overhead cam. You can see the screw in there, and there's like a black piece of card. It's like a thick, really heavy duty card. That's all I can say. It is like a paper based. It's not wood. It runs all the way down and attaches to the top panel, and that's basically what holds the chassis in. We need to just get something to try and prise that up. In fact, on this particular one, it looks like I'm going to have to take them right out, because the handle fasteners are actually poking through this. Unless we get it up past the handle fasteners, we haven't got a lot of chance of getting it out. There we go. I think we're there. Speaker leads, pop them off. There it is. Out of the chassis. It's a fairly basic board on these, but seems to be effective enough. Fairly sensitive. It's not the best on the planet by any means, but not too bad. Just stick it in the overhead camera again. Let's get my mug out of the way a minute. That's the chassis. The main guts of it is down here. Over here we've just got the volume pot and that's a long wave coil, that end. Medium wave, that end. So I'll just zoom you in on this end a minute. This is the business end. So from memory, and apologies because I haven't pulled the manual for this at the moment, this is the oscillator mixer transistor, 2 IF stages, and out through AF amplifier, I believe, and into drivers and the final outputs. Again, it's not a high output. These are only normal silicon transistors. They're not heat sinked or anything. I don't even know if it does a watt. This one, I wouldn't have thought it does a watt. It's probably half a watt output, I would have said. But it is silicone, so we shouldn't have any issues with the transistors. These blue poly caps are always very reliable. It's got modern metal film resistors in it. It's got one of these horrible poly varicon things. Again, as long as they're working, they're best left well alone. We can trim the oscillator if we need to in the aerial on that. We'll see. We'll have a look at the servicing instructions later. So what I want to do is just lift these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 of these Phillips capacitors. To be fair, they are pretty reliable, those. So I'm not looking to change those. Just really verify that they're working okay. If I can do that, then that should be fine. What else can we say about it? We've got little trimmers. There's one up here. I think one of these is going to be the long wave, I expect. I'm not sure on the others without getting into the service manual. This one's probably the output current, possibly. As I say, we'll have a look at the service diagram later. So bear with me, and I'll fire up the desoldering tool, and we'll get cracking and see if we can sort these capacitors. So bear with me. Right, the desoldering tool is up to temperature and noisy as ever. So I'm just going to desolder this. I'll leave it on the overhead camera. It might be a bit easier for you to see what I'm up to. So like I say, I literally want to desolder just one leg off of each of these. Just so I can test them. So I'll do the sort of outer legs on each one. Ooh, bit aggressive there, Graham. Two more. Burn the wires, get out of the way. one. Right, that's all of them lifted. Just turn that racket off. So what we're going to do now is just get the ESR meter in here. Let's get them little trims out of the way, we'll not damage those. Okay, well for some reason the peak has peaked. It won't measure a capacitor for some reason. I say that it'll work now. I've just put a new battery in it because the battery failed, but I'm sure what went on with that. I mean, this is supposed to be 10 microfarads, so it should have read it by now. It's still monitoring for component alert, so looks like my ESR meter is going to have to go back to peak for them to have a peek at it. Anyway, I've got my old ESR meter, not ESR meter, old capacitor meter here, which is not an ESR meter. But that one's supposed to be 220. It's reading 286. Gone a little bit high, not massively. Try this one. Same again, 220. $292, so that's gone high. This is pretty accurate, this meter, to be fair. This one's 470. Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? I think we've done it. It's supposed to be 470 again. It's gone high. Oh, no, it hasn't. It's gone a little bit low, that one. This one here, 4.7. Actually reading 7, so that's gone pretty high. This one down here, 10 microfarad. It's reading 15. So this should be in sort of around about 20% tolerance, really. Ideally. I mean, back in the day, I suppose they made these plus 50%, didn't they? And that one is reading a 120 microfarad. That's 100. So I think what I'll do, being that we're giving this away, I will actually recap it. I wasn't going to, but you know, I can't test the ESR because my meter's just packed up. So I think I'm going to crack on and get these out. So bear with me, I'll just get the desoldering tool out again and we'll crack on with it. Okay, I'm going to crack on and get these out now. So I've got my new caps all ready to go in. I'm using all Nichicon PW series, 105 degree rated. I was looking for some axials, but I couldn't find any, so let's do these one at a time. So that's our 4.7. There we go. Excuse me. Let's just get some forceps and we'll bend the legs of these so as they fit in nicely. That way around. I'll do a couple of these and then I'll do the rest off camera just to speed the video up. We don't want it going on for ever and a day, do we really? Plus we've got this noisy desoldering tool, but it is a godsend, believe me. Right. Put a little tiny bit of flux on. Slightly more modern board this, so it shouldn't really need any, but we'll put it on anyway. extractor in. Let's get my snips. That's one done. What have we got here? 470. Let's do that one. So that's the other way around. The negatives at the front. Just here. Big one there's got to be off 470 and negative at the front. I said, didn't I? These Nichicon caps don't really look out of place on these boards. It's not like the back flops down and you can see everything. So I think they look quite tidy as long as you take some time to bend the legs nicely. They look fine. So negative at the front, didn't I? I always put the flux down, I don't know where it is. I put it down in the same place every time, so I should do really. Right, extractor on. There we go, another one done. Two down, 4 to go. So join me again in a minute and I'll have them done. Okay, well that's the caps done. So you can see I've put all Nichicons in there. Hopefully they're all the right way around. Just one thing I want to do is just to these two caps here, because they're very close together, they're sort of like touching one another. So I thought what I'd do is just put a little tiny blob of hot glue in there, just to stop them knocking together, and possibly you can get a bit of microphonic noise, and again, if they keep moving they could fracture. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So let's get back and get those done. So I'm just waiting for the hot glue to heat up. I think it is. Are we there? Oh, yeah, we are. It comes out well. I'm just going to stick them together on the back end here where the readings aren't. One little tip with hot glue, if you want to make it a bit neater, just put a little bit of spit on your finger and give it a wipe. There we go. Just let that go off. They should be nice and firmly attached together and to the board. That's just a little thing to do. So yeah, I've done all the capacitors. As I say, there's only 6 of them in there. It's got a Nichicon PW. They're 105 degree rated, so they're good quality caps. But possibly better quality than the Vichys. But the Vichys look nicer, but they're only rated at 85 degrees, most of them. My hot glue gun is spewing glue all over the mat here as we speak. Right, so what else have we got to do then? suppose really, since we've gone to the trouble of recapping it, we need to test it again. For this glue to go off. Yeah. Right, let me just hook it up again then, and we'll give it a tap. Okay, moment of truth. Here it is, connected up to my power supply. 9 volts. Current limit's just off the base, so let's push a button and hopefully it'll work. Had the current limit a bit low then, that was worrying. Certainly a lot louder. Well, it's working. Obviously, I'm in an area of mass interference here. So I just disconnected the speaker out to test it. It's one of these plastic speakers. Not really a fan of them, but they work. So it's got a magnet still in it, but the actual cage is plastic, that's all. Anyway, what else have we got to do to this now? Need to do an alignment on it, but I'm going to leave that for a bit. It needs a service. Obviously, I've got to clean all the switches. I want to whip the top panel off. What I need to probably do first of all is try and sort this dent out. So I've got the speaker out. I can see where the main part of the dent is. It's had something sharp pushed in that by the looks of it. Just easing it out with my fingers a little bit now, just to bring up the edges where it's pushed in by the speaker. Then I'm going to get what have we got here? I took a load of my tools out the other day to do a job, and haven't brought them all back in. So I need to get a screwdriver up underneath that to bend that bit back. Just a little bit at a time. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, we've also got a couple little dinks in the middle. Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. I don't think this is going to be perfect by any means, but as long as we can get it acceptable. So I'm just trying to feel my way around it now. Trying to feel where the high points are. Just lining the blade of my screwdriver up underneath the high points and just pushing up very gently, just to push the dents up. So this one at the top is definitely the worst. It's getting there. That's a lot better. I've got it pretty much flat, side to side. It had something contact it right in the middle here. That's the problem. Let's both push the middle in. Let's go flatter, rounder screwdriver in there. There's one point there that needs pushing up. That's better. I think with this I'm going to have to get something a bit more aggressive in there. I need a flat, bigger screwdriver. And I'm going to need to try and push down on the outside to balance it up. Let's have a look, see if this one will go in there. Okay, that's in there. Right, what can we use? I don't really want to scratch it. Bear with me, let me find something to give it a tap the other side. Okay, what I decided to do is get a piece of wood. I'm going to lay that right in line with the top of the trim. You can't really see in underneath there, but I'm just going to basically, we can see where the dent is, look, hopefully, where my finger is here. So I'm just going to try and ease that down with a screwdriver. So there it goes. Yeah, that's good. It's getting there. Let's say it's get it as good as I can. Sorry, you're not really going to be able to see this. So I'm just going to work on that for a minute. Join me again and we'll see how I get on. Okay, so that's pretty much got it. I'm just on the overhead cam now. I mean, you can still feel that there's a bit of a dink there, but that's a hell of a lot better. I'm happy with that. So I need to just touch the paint up a little bit on the top, and there's a little bit here as well. It's a general clean, but that's very good news. So I'm going to touch that up, and that should be it for the grill anyway. Hopefully. So good result. So what have I got to do next? Next, I've got to get the handle off and clean up these sides. So I'll leave painting the grill till I've done the sides. All I want to do with the sides is give them a clean off with just some foam cleaner, and I'll give the case a bit of a wash, just with some hand soap. Be really careful you don't take the paint off the front there, so don't use any foam cleaner. I tend to either mask that off or just generally be very careful not to get any foam cleaner on it, because foam cleaner will take the paint off of the front grille. So I'm going to give it a clean now, take the handle off. As I say, I have got some replacement washers for these, spring or captive washers, whatever you call them. So just a case of picking these out. They are a bit of a devil because they do dig into the aluminium. With a bit of careful jiggery pokery, they do come out. There's one, and the other one. So I'm not going to reuse these. If you want to reuse these, then you need to be a little bit more careful. Possibly use 2 screwdrivers. Dental pick's another good tool for getting these off. Some people knock them through. I have to tap them slightly because they're a bit tight. Let's go in. Try not to use anything to pry them with, because you will damage the timber work. Also, if they're a bit tight and you tap them out, you can also damage it. So I'm just tap these out with a little hammer. Hammer time. Probably knocking the camera as well. Should come out, but these are really stiff. Right, so I'm going to pop that in the vise and just tap them through in the vise a minute, so it won't be a sec. Right, that's the handle off. All done. So next thing, as I say, so I'm going to go in the bathroom now. I'm just going to spray a little bit of foam cleaner on both of the side panels. Got a bit of a mark here, I don't know what that is. Hopefully that'll come off. I don't really want to start sanding it down. And as I say, I'm going to clean the grill. There's a little bit of muck on it there. And just clean the case with some hand cleaner. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back from the bathroom, where I've just stuck this in the sink basically. I've scrubbed the sides off with foam cleaner, both ends. There's a different bit of timber for each end by the looks of it, but to be fair, it's pretty good. That black mark's come off anyway, which is good news. So I'm just going to let it dry out now, and then I can stick some Danish oil on. Again, I've washed all the Rexine, that's all come up nice. Washed the grill off, just needs a couple little touch-ups. Back's fine. There's a little tiny nick, where did I find it? Here. On the Rexine under where the battery tray goes, so that'll need to be glued back as well. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Next thing is to polish the dial plate. Oh, I've cleaned the handle as well. That's had some foam cleaner on it. Just got to put a bit of metal polish on the ends, so that's pretty good anyway. But get it sparkling, it'll look as best as it possibly can. So let's put that over to one side to dry off, because we've got to get the dial plate done next. So pull the knobs off, if they'll come off. Should do. I've got the side trims off. Oh, we've got a broken knob there anyway now. Yeah, just held in by the looks of it. Never mind, we can fix that. Dial plate, so we're going to give that a little bit of a polish. Let's have a look in underneath here. It's looking pretty clean, to be fair. Not much muck inside there. I don't know. Again, I've lost my paintbrush for some reason. Everything's disappearing. Let's give that a bit of a brush off then. You got to be careful with these little plastic pointers. They're really, really fragile. I've broke more than one of them off and had to glue it back on again. Just getting rid of all the dust and that in here, really. Let's give it a bit of a blowout. Let's get a small air duster. Right, that's done. Pop that to one side. All that's left to do on the chassis really is just to check the alignment on it, see if we can pull it up any better than what it is. So bear with me, I'm just going to get all my polishing stuff out. Okay, so I got my bits and pieces together to do polishing. So basically what I use these Novus ones, these Novus polishes. I don't know if there's other ones available. You can use T-Cut, like carb body cutting compound, I think you can use. But as I say, I'm just going to be polishing this one. So I've got Novus 1, 2, and 3. 1 is just a finish polish afterwards, just a shiny finish, anti-static. Number 2 is the fine scratch remover, and number 3 is the heavy scratch remover. So you go down from 3 back through to 1, really. So you start off with the heavy scratch remover if you've got any heavy scratches. There is a couple fairly heavy ones, so we'll start with number 3 on this one. I won't go to, but I will now. And I also use their own polishing cloths. You know, it ain't cheap, but these are anti-scratch. They're lint-free, and they do recommend. It says that using the wrong cloth when cleaning plastics can damage the surface. Standard paper toweling, polyester, or rayon cloths can leave scratches in plastic. So using these, it's basically prevents scratching. And not forgetting the blue row underneath, and some gloves, because this stuff on your hands is horrible. That's about it. So let's begin. Let's get them out of the way. Again, these are quite robust gloves. I use bold nitrile free Aurelia. These I've tried a few different lots of gloves, and these are really strong. Saying that, I'll probably rip one now. Anyway, there we go. Number 3 first. Give it a good shake. And I wouldn't bother with squirting it out the tops because they block for pastime and you spend forever trying to unclog it. Just put a little bit on your cloth. Sounds like it's raining outside again. Now the main area of scratching is there. So it says to go opposite to the scratch. So if you've got a scratch going long ways, like vertically, go horizontally across it. You're always going to get scratching around the volume and tuning. That's going to be the worst. Basically, it's just a lot of elbow grease until you've got the finish you want. Now, I'm not going to go mental on it. I suppose you could spend hours cleaning one of these if you really wanted a mirror finish on it, like brand new out the factory, but you know, I want to show a little bit of use on it. It's not a new radio. 1970, what's that? Must be 40 years old, isn't it? Over 40 years old. I'm not sure what part of the 70s it is, but I will find that out for you. Right. It's just a case really of just keep going over it and over it and over it. Then when you're happy with number 3, you move on to number 2. So I'm going to do that, and I didn't show you what it looked like to start with, really, did I? But I'm going to do that, and join me again in a bit and see how I've got on. Right, well, I've finished going at it with the heavy scratch remover now. And the idea of the blue row is in between each different application, you just roll it back and you've got brand new, clean the next time. So what I'm going to do with this now, I'm going to take it in the bathroom, just wash it off, just to get rid of all the heavy scratch removing compound, and then I'm going to move on to the fine scratch remover. Okay, that's had the final coat of it's not coat really, is it? Final treatment of fine scratch remover. I've just sprayed it with this Novus number 1. So I'm just going to give it a final buff up. I don't know if you can see that, but see the light shining in it. It's pretty good. That's very nice. I've got rid of 99% of the scratches in that. There is still some little ones on it, but it's looking really good. Really pleased with that. Hi, welcome back. It's day 2. I finished the case. Well, I haven't finished the case, but overnight I put the last coat of Danish oil on about midnight last night. So that's all set and looking really nice from where I can see it. But I'll show you that in a bit. What I've been playing with this morning was the alignment on this radio. Now, to be fair, it wasn't far out. I've gone through the Robert service sheet and had a look at it, given it a tweak. It hasn't needed a lot, to be fair. I just thought I'd bring you in just to have a look at the current measurement. So we're going to do that next. For that, we need a milliamp meter, and I've got one set up. If I can find it, where's my overhead cam? There we go. So I've got one set up down in the corner there. That's my meter, and also we've got the main camera down on the bench, just so you can see what I'm doing. I will zoom in a little bit on that. Because the piece the points that I'm going to be altering is this one down here. Don't think that screwdriver's too big, so it'll have to be that one. I'm using these non-metallic Draper Expert things. You could use a normal screwdriver, I suppose. What we will do before we start is I'll just give that one a little squirt with a bit of contact cleaner. So bear with me. Let me just get some contact cleaner down a minute. Now we've got a bit of Servasol. A bit of Servasol for all you Servasol fans. Servasol Super 10. Let's zoom that camera in a little bit for you, just so you can see what I'm doing. There. I'm just going to give this a little squirt. Let's turn the power off a minute. Just going to give it a little bit of a workaround. These skeleton pots do get a bit corroded, because they never get touched, really. Well, they shouldn't be touched unless you're doing something like this. And again, I'm only checking this. It shouldn't be far out, to be fair. So that's the plan. And I'm using I printed out the instructions, and on the top you can see what I'm supposed to be doing. I will pop that up on the screen if I can. Let me just see if I can do that. Can I do that? Bear with me. Okay, well, I found the alignment sheet for you, so I'm just going to pop that onto the screen a minute. So I'm just going to get rid of myself, and we'll zoom this in for you. So we're looking at item number 1. Hopefully you can see that. I might be able to make that slightly bigger for you. Bear with me. Okay, that's about as big as I can get it on the screen for you. So we've got 7 alignments to do on this. Now, I have done 3 to 7. I can't do 6 and 7 because my signal generator won't go down that low. So for 6 and 7, I've basically chosen radio 4, which I know is 198 kilohertz. And I've just made these adjustments. VC5, which is just a little ceramic, a capacitor trimmer, and L3, which is the aerial coil. So I've trimmed VC5 for the best reception on radio 4, and I've moved the ferrite very slightly. Sorry, the coil on the ferrite rod very slightly, and just sealed it up with a bit of wax. So they're done. So the adjustment I'm looking at now is number 1 and 2. I've got to have a milliamp meter. I'm using my Keysight meter for that. It says I've got to adjust VR2 fully anti-clockwise. and read the milliamps with VR2 in this position. Then I've got to look at the position 1 reading and add 1 milliamp to it by turning VR2. So let's do that. Let's scroll back into that. I'm going to put the overhead camera in the picture as well. Sorry, the screen of the meter, so you can see what readings I'm getting. I'll move that up out of the way so it's not I can't actually. Right, so the adjustment point VR2 is this one here. So let's put the power on. And I'm just going to put my meter in series with it. Let's turn it on. Pop the, probably don't make a lot of difference. So if I touch that, so I've got to turn VR2 fully anti-clockwise. So 14 milliamps. And so basically I've got to add 1 milliamp onto that. So I need to get it to 15. Let's just turn this clockwise. These are very touchy, these things. It was a bit high, I think. There we go. That's as good as we're going to get that. So that's that bit done. Okay. That's that bit done. So we keep forgetting to return my meter back to normal. So let's connect that back up. Turn it back on. Let's say there's not a lot of stations I can. Not a lot of stations I can get here, but you can't see now, can you? Let me just zoom that back out again a minute. I'm just giving it a quick go through. No. Cool. Medium wave. And that's the light interfering with that. Right, so that's that bit done. What I will do in a bit is I'll take it downstairs and I'll video it separately with it working away from all the interference that is my workbench. It's bad, isn't it, when you're trying to tune stuff up and you can't do it in your workroom. So just a couple of things. I got these beeswax candles years ago. They're perfect for just melting a little tiny bit off to seal the aerial. And if I pop you on the overhead cam there, you'll see that I've just blobbed a little tiny bit just on the long wave coil just there. So that just stops that coil moving around. The medium wave coil is it's well fixed, to be fair. That doesn't need any adjusting. I mean, it's got this like rubber band passing right the way through it, which gives it a bit of stability, but these do perish over the years, and the coils can start moving on the ferrite. So that's where I am with it. The other thing that's on the bench is my good old faithful output meter. I use this for tuning up radios. You can connect it, take a speaker out and connect it directly to it. It's got a load built into it, depending on what impedance you select. So yeah, it's a really useful bit of kit, this. I haven't seen another one. There is pictures of a slightly different one on the internet, but someone on the vintage the vintage radio forum let me have that one a couple of 3 years ago. Prior to that, I just used to use an AVO meter, to be fair, but this does a much better job, and I can actually replace the speaker with this, which gets rid of the horrible noise. So I've done that. As I say, I've just checked it. Very little needed doing to it. So let's get the case in then. Bear with me. I'll just get the case. There we are. There's the case. So I didn't realize I was recording then. So you can see I've done the sides with Danish oil. You can see a bit of a sheen on that, hopefully, in the light. Both ends come up really, really nice. I've bent the grill back. How can I show you that? Yeah, so before we had a big dink here, really deep gouge. I was surprised I managed to get that out, and a bit of bowing in where it had obviously got knocked or something pushed it in around the area of the speaker. It's always the same with these. I mean, you can see in the back there, you've just got a big open hole. This is pretty firm. If you hit that, you're not going to do a lot of good. But if you hit it there, it's going to push the speaker grill in. So that, although not perfect, is very, very good now and perfectly acceptable. So we've got a couple other little jobs. I've got these couple little nicks to do. So let me do that a minute. So this is the worst one of the two. Got a little nick in it there, as you can see. I'm just pulling it back with the craft knife at the moment. So the idea is to use some of this just craft PVA, paintbrush. I'm going to need some masking tape as well. Find it. There we go. A bit of masking tape. So I'll see if I can get it on the overhead camera so you can see exactly what I'm up to. Let's just zoom out a little bit on that because I'm in a bit close. Let's pop over to the overhead camera. He says, if you can find the overhead camera. There we are. Oh, technology. Right. So what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of this paint. I normally blob it out into like a little plastic beaker, but it's such a small repair. Just be a waste of PVA, really. I just want to ease it back. Pop some of this glue in that hole. I just want that to go off a bit first. So I'm going to leave it a couple of 3 minutes. Just let it start hardening off, really. Not hardening, or setting. Then the idea is to push it back together where it's tacky, and I'm going to use the masking tape to just hold it together while it sets. So bear with me. While I'm waiting for that top one to go off, I've got this bottom one as well. Don't forget, I did forget about this one. exactly the same on that really. Just going to coat both sides of it with the PVA. It'll come off the brush now. And let that go off as well. Okay, we're back. So this has started to go off now. What I want to do is just get a bit of masking tape. This is low tack masking tape. I'm just going to stretch it quite tight over where the rip is and push it down. That should keep it in place while it's setting. And the same for this bottom one. See, it wants to open up. That one's not quite gone tacky yet. There's another bit of a nick there, but I don't think I can get anything in that one. I have to use scissors for this one because it's quite I'm just going to go in there and try and pull it around just to hold it in place while it goes off. There we are. So I'll leave that on probably overnight actually, just so as it goes off properly, and then we can touch it in with a bit of paint and maybe some shoe polish. Okay, right, just some final jobs to do, touching up the grill. Got some gloss black paint. Let's just get you on the main camera for a minute. Got some gloss black, just some craft enamel. This is water-based stuff, so pretty safe. Doesn't stink the place out. And I've got a really fine brush. This is a 5-0, which I think is about as small as you can get. I won't video the whole of this, so basically I'm going to need to get my magnifying headset-y thingy type thing on and just touch it up. So I'll stick you on the overhead cam, you can have a look. Join along as I ever go at doing this. There's only really two places. One is up here that you can see, and there's another one further down here. A couple little tiny ones I probably will do. I'm going to need to get this light down there close. It's going to blow it out a little bit. Just darken it down a little bit. Possibly too. You can see that. Right, let's get at it. And that was that big dink there. Make sure you don't get too much paint on the brush because it just falls down in the hole and makes it look terrible. That's that one. Once that dries, that'll disappear. The other main one is just here. We'll brighten that up a little bit. I've made it a bit too dark now. A little dink there. One there. I think a little tiny bit there. Certainly doesn't warrant repainting the whole stripes. It's original as we can. Right, I think that's it for now. So I've got to wait for the case repairs to dry. I've got to wait for the case repairs to dry where I've got this blue tape. Little tiny nick just there. And that should be good to go. So that'll dry overnight, and tomorrow it'll be putting it all back together. So catch you tomorrow. Hi everybody, and welcome to day 3 of the Rambler restoration. So yesterday I left it with the PVA drying with the masking tape on. So today, basically I've got to finish it today because I'm giving it away tomorrow. And I'm not sure when this video will come out. I'm hoping it will come out today, but it might come out after the event. So apologies if it does. But someone is going to get a very nice radio. So let's have a look where we are with the radio. Let's just pop it on the screen a minute. Pop me up in the corner here. So let's have a look. So we'll peel it this way. Again, this is low tack masking tape, so it shouldn't really leave any residue. Need to make sure that I peel it back very gently. Oh, that is lovely. Sorted. Brilliant. Right, that just needs a little bit of shoe polish just to recolor that in, and that absolutely sorted. Excellent. And the bit on the bottom, again, this was a bit of a tricky one. Let's see if I can peel it back very gently. Well, I can't actually see where that was torn. Got a little nick there that I just need to colour in, but there we go. Pleased with that. Should I try a little bit of scuff coat? Just get you on the overhead camera a minute, see if we can show that to you in a little bit better detail. Yeah, there we go. So say that was just gaping open before, but you can barely see it now. So pleased with that. Great outcome. So I've just got to go and get some shoe polish and just go over those before I can put the chassis back in. So yeah, I just need to touch up a little bit here. A couple little scuffs on the top where stuff's been put on top of it. A little scuff on the bottom. I just need to just go over that with a bit of shoe polish. I just noticed there's another little, another bit of vinyl just lifting there. Look. Oh. So I need to pop a bit of PVA on that, but that can be held in place by the bottom panel, so I'm not too worried about that. Right, let's get some shoe polish or some scuff coat. I think we'll try some scuff coat first. Okay, we've got a little tiny bit of scuff coat in this cup. I'm just going to paint some of that on. Just on the little scuffs. Here. Okay. We'll let that dry. Better put that up on something, otherwise it'll come off. Right, so let that dry, and hopefully we can get it back together. Okay, well, I'm in the finishing stages of this now. I've sorted out the brights. You can see I've given them a good going over some wire wool and scrubbed them clean. I've also polished the tops of the buttons. I'm just doing a few final bits now. I'm just giving the chrome on the handle here a bit of a once over because it's a little bit dull in places and there's a bit of muck on it. I have washed it and cleaned it, but get a bit of metal polish on it just to finish it, make it bling. So not much left to do now. The case is all sorted, all glued, ready to go. Make sure that's all right. That's better. All right. Got some servicing jobs to do before I start putting it back together and spraying contact cleaner over everything. So I'm using some service oil here because that's what I got to hand. I don't know where my deox has disappeared to actually. So I'm just going to pop some of that down the back of the switches. I may have already done this, but I'm going to do it again. And in the volume pot, if you're going to do a job, you might as well do it properly. Right. Where's me oil? I can never find me oil when I need it, can I? Right, well, I've got some oil at last. I don't know where my other oil's gone, but you know. So there's only a couple places to oil on this really. One is the spindle, tuning spindle. Get a bit in there. Feels better already. And the pulleys. A little drop on each. Whiz that up and down a few times. There we are. That actually has improved it. Okay, right, reassembly time I think. First thing we got to do is put the handle back together. Be really careful with that. I'm going to just file the edges a little bit flatter. Just where the little captive washer just chewed up the aluminium a little bit, saves it catching on the case. Don't want to damage our nice new sides. It's that one. All I'm doing is just smoothing out any burrs with the file, that's all. Probably would have been alright, but you know. Why not? Right, that feels better. Yeah, tight fit in this case, I must admit. There we go. Right, let's get a couple new star washers if I can find where I put them. Getting away in the depths of all my stuff. These should go on here. We'll soon see. I can reuse the other ones if I need to, but these have prolonged the life of the strap handle, I suppose. Just let me find a little pusher on her. One. And the other one. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to. Two. There we go. Got his handle back on. I'm going to leave the final polish till it's all put back together. Right, speaker in next then. Get rid of the rubbish off the bench. Leave the speaker wires go downwards. Again, I've blown all the dust off of that. Tweak that out with the forceps for a minute. Right, let's just find should we get a little socket to fit that? Excuse my head in the way. So one, that one. Get in there. Right. That's one side for a minute. We'll reassemble the top panel here. So we've got a nice shiny new, not new, but it looks new, top panel. Two chrome trims, laminated aluminium. Let's drop that in the case just to keep them in position. And our two knobs, which I've shone to death. Yeah, starting to look good now. Let's get in there. So we've got two screws to go in the side. Just going to tack them in for a second. Make sure they're nice and firm. Just caught, and I'm just going to finally push down both edges. Oh, and tighten them up. There we go. So pop our speaker wires back on. I'm going to pop a battery in it. Let's just check the voltage on this one a minute, because I did leave it on, turned on the other night, overnight, just to make sure everything was all right. It's been on for 24 hours, this battery, continuous. Still got 9 volts in it though, ideal. Let's connect that one up. Still on. Still on. Won't come with a battery, unfortunately. You'll have to get your own battery. God, these are tight. I don't remember which way around these go. That's it. There we are. Sorted. All finished. And ready for its new owner. So that is totally different. Actually, saying that, I've got a little scuff there. But I don't know if that's actually underneath or whether it's on top. A little bit of never dull, and just go over that. See if I can get rid of that. This is just metal polish, really, but as good as plastic polish. Nice clean piece. Come out. Might be in underneath the laminate. That's coming off. There we go. All gone. The polishing rag. There. Better. Can't be having little flaws like that when you've spent that long on a radio. So yeah, there we go. There's only one thing left to do, and that's just to put a little bit of finish on the top here. So we'll do that. If I've got it here, no, I haven't got it to hand, so I'll do that downstairs. Just put a little bit of vinyl shine on it. I'll just blend in all the bits I've touched up. But yeah, that's a real beauty. So I'm going to take that down, and we're going to do some yeah, so I'm going to take it outside and do a little video. I'm going to do a little video with my phone now, and I'll add that into this video, hopefully, if all goes well. So hope you enjoyed that. As I say, being raffled off tomorrow, Sunday. So make sure you're there. That's if I get this video out in time. Thanks for watching. Catch you all soon. And short video to follow of this one working.
And as continuity announcers,
Well, as you can hear,
goodbye. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
we're on long wave,
Make me a
radio
program
4.
this night at
The political swings of the Republican Party.
Absolutely dead on.
After Margaret Thatcher, and close to 4 decades since then, he's
Medium wave.
Rick Astley on Richard Green's Retro Show. Rick's going on tour actually with Aha in 2020, supporting them on their Hunting High and Low tour.
Medium wave now.
Doing his best tour as well in the UK.
and lots of World Cup. There is one World Cup going on in Japan, and currently leading Samoa by 33 points to 56 minutes play.
I think that's Radio 5 Live. So there you are. All ready for the lucky winner.